Japan's non-life insurance sector experienced severe domestic catastrophe losses in 2018 due to multiple typhoons and flooding events. Christie Lee, Senior Director of AM Best, joins us now to discuss the impact of these catastrophes. Christie, Japan's non-life insurers released substantial catastrophe reserves to offset the losses for the domestic natural catastrophes last year. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, 2018 was a cat eventful year for Japan non-life insurance industry. The total losses for the major non-life players account for about 7% of their net asset. In Japan, luckily, insurance companies, they could set aside a separate fund called cat reserves on the liability side of the balance sheet, and it is being used as capital buffer in case of cat event. In 2018, a sizable amount of this cat reserve was released and is used for offsetting part of the underwriting losses. So let's first take a look how the cat reserves work in Japan. Each year, the insurance companies, they would set aside a certain percentage of the premium income by line of business and put it into the cat reserve funds. And it keep accumulate, and by regulation, the insurance companies are required to have a sufficient fund for paying off losses that would equivalent to estimated loss of about 1 in 70 years cat event by line of business. So in case of major cat events, then they could release the fund from this special reserves, and then if the reserves balance fall below a minimum threshold, the insurance companies, they could top up the amount to a safety level as capital buffer. So what happened in 2018 was in September, Typhoon Jebi and Typhoon Trami hit Japan. So within 3 months, by the end of December, over 3 billion cat reserves was already released by the 3 major players. It's equivalent to 13% of net reduction on the cat reserve level, and majority of the cat reserve are released from the fire line of business. For fire line of business, it represents nearly 40% of reduction on the cat reserve balance. So in the fourth quarter, some insurers, they have work on some major replenishment on the cat reserve level to put the cat reserve back to a safety level.
How have the cat losses last year affected reinsurance programs for Japan's non-life insurers?
For a company with thinner cat reserve balance, especially on the fire line, in the past 4/1 renewal, they're applying a more conservative reinsurance strategy. What happened in 2018 were losses are coming from multiple retentions from multiple cat events, which could happen again in 2019, potentially. So insurance company purchased more aggregate coverage to help minimizing the capital volatility while they're working on replenishing the cat reserve level. And in addition, the companies are focusing on the profitability to help them for supporting the higher and more expensive reinsurance costs.
What's the overall outlook for Japan's non-life sector?
Despite the major cat events in 2018, AM Best feel that the Japan non-life insurance market outlook remains stable. It's mainly underpinned by very robust capitalization level. It's also supported by primary rate hike plan in October, and they have a stable book of voluntary auto insurance and robust investment returns. Insurance companies, we feel that they're going to focus on profitability going forward, not only because they need to support for more expensive reinsurance costs, but most importantly, they would have to catch up on the midterm strategy plan after being disturbed by the cat events in 2018. Our view is that the insurance company will still be able to generate the target profitability with combined ratio back to mid to low 90% level, and they will still be able to meet the shareholders' dividends target.
Thank you for speaking with us today. For AM Best TV, I'm Meg Green.